Good evening and welcome to Season 3 of the Artist Showcase. We've been celebrating 2 seasons of our show by sharing our most memorable and cherished moments. It has been such a beautiful journey of incredible performances, voices, learning, and growth and energy created here at the Artist Showcase. Tonight we welcome Season 3 with a local singer-songwriter and working artist who is back on the scene with original songs and the best gig in town. We are so excited for tonight's show and the start of this new season. We'll meet you back here right after this. We are back and excited to introduce you to a Southern Utah singer-songwriter who we're pretty sure has written more songs than probably anyone in 2024. His newest original just dropped today and he will be performing it for us tonight. I'd like to introduce you to my friend and local artist, Jake Parkinson. Jake, we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's great to be here.
I've been really excited for this interview. You and I are friends. We've been friends for a long time. We've worked together. And we could talk for hours, and we have.
We do.
Tonight we won't. There's a lot to talk about, but I'm just so excited to talk with you about how the music is just pouring out of you right now. But let's start back when we started working together at SUU. Right. I was your professor of voice at SUU. You were my student, and that was the first time we worked together, you with formal lessons.
Right.
And also, you did studio class. I taught a studio class there, so we had our lessons during the week, and then every Friday you came and performed at studio class.
Yeah.
And I remember back at that time you were exploring styles, you were trying to figure out who you were as an artist. Yeah. It was really, for me, the beginning of your journey as an artist, and you were discovering who you were. Yeah. I'm remembering covers of Shawn Mendes, Ed Sheeran,
absolutely.
And the last piece that we worked on together, sort of on the classical side, contemporary classical, was an Italian contemporary piece, Nella Fantasia. Do you remember that?
One of my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about that time?
I remember being so terrified of any moment, especially Fridays, like going in to perform for the, I think we had a class of between 10 and 15 people. It was I remember the shakes that I would get standing up in front of everybody, and I think that was a common experience for me, whether I was in this, in just the one-on-one private lessons with you or there was just so much fear around doing it, but it was so fun to just still continue to lean in. And I remember specifically how much you helped me get past that, especially with my voice, which I think is just credence to you as a vocal coach and professor, that through all of the anxiety and worry, you were still able to bring out more of that authentic piece, and it was absolutely a great starting point for me.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Let's fast forward to Vocalize You, the Vocalize You Artist Intensive. Yeah. And you came to my studio here in St. George, so we were up in Cedar City at SU, but then we next worked together off of St. George Boulevard in my studio, and we were preparing for Vocalize You. Vocalize You is Hollywood's elite artist development and music business program. Yep. How did that impact you on this journey?
Oh, I think everybody that is a part of VU can relate to this. It's so difficult to describe to people just how impactful it was. And I'll try, but being able to not only be in such a beautiful place, Mount St. Mary's is just, every time I go there, songs pour out of me. Just the environment itself is beautiful and designed to support that creativity. But it was the first time in my life I've ever been surrounded, and I have the chills just thinking about it. It was the most amazing thing to be surrounded by other artists, people who believe in what they're doing, who believe in that you should actually pursue your craft rather than play it safe. And it opened up my eyes to what is possible. And I believe I only wrote like one pretty bad song while I was there. I listened back to it the other day. Made me cringe a little bit, but it was so fun. It was the first song I had written in like a condensed amount of time. It usually would take me forever to write a song, but the amount of connections that I made that first year are still relationships that I have to this day. And I really could go on for probably too long about all the ways that it impacted me, but it gave the little spark of creativity that I had a real like space, almost like what's the word? It was like I finally had a fire pit and I could just actually light on fire and like grow. It wasn't just something I had to just kind of keep small, and it was huge for me.
Oh, it was incredible to be there. It's a 10-day experience.
Yeah.
I've been a vocal coach there for years, and to watch you and other artists through that time period of 10 days just grow and make progress and come alive in your music is incredible. And everyone coming together with the same passion.
Yes. I think there's something that you just said, alive. It was one of the first times in my life I felt fully alive. And it was actually, so this last summer, so July of this year, I went down for just a day and a half just to support a friend that was down there. And even just being down there, I had 2 songs come out of me, and I actually wrote one of the songs that I'll be performing today, Echo. I wrote while I was down there in the stairwell, and a second one, Phases, I had written in the cathedral. And it's just so cool that like even just tangentially touching into that space, you just get hit with the creative bug.
Right,
I
it's
love
a
it.
place and a time of inspiration every time you're there.
An amazing connection.
Yes.
So,
After VU, there were some serious challenges and struggles for you.
Yeah.
You fostered a baby boy, which is not I'm sure it was a challenge, but that was such a blessing for you.
It was amazing.
Yes, and then in 2021, you won a contest, an award, a talent show.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh man, it was so funny because I've done a lot of stage performing throughout my life, like with musical theater and just school convention type things. So this was my first ever attempt at trying to actually compete, I guess, with a show. And I went in with the lowest of expectations, and I had done a cover of Ed Sheeran's I See Fire. And it was the first time I felt like the nerves actually supported my performance. And the whole thing was just a random last minute thing that I popped into, but it just, for whatever reason, it was just perfect timing for me. And to be able to win the overall award was a surprise, and also just, it was a small thing that really helped kind of secure my desire to keep doing it. Because at the time, like you were saying, between the foster situation that we had and then our twins being born about a year later, around the time that the talent show or the Star Search went on, it was difficult to keep that spark going, and that thing helped a lot.
Yes,
So.
I was there that day holding one of your twins. I think they were only about a week old. When were they born?
Yeah, so they would have been born June 4th, so they were a month old.
A month old, and I was holding one of them, watching you perform.
Yeah.
And you told me that experience, you loved winning that because it was your own efforts. No one asked you to come to perform anything specific. It was just your efforts and your talent that won that for you. And so I'm sure that pushed you ahead.
It did, and it gave me more confidence to feel like, oh, I can do this. Like I didn't even dare try to play any of my songs, but I think that was again one of the turning points of feeling like, okay, I really can do this, and I want to see if I can find that same level of connection that I was able to get with the crowd at that point with my own songs. And at that time, it was not there. So the covers have been very, very helpful stepping stones, you know.
Yes. During that time of struggle and challenge, you were in the hospital for a week, and there
Yeah.
were some significant things that happened there
Yeah.
to move you forward as well.
Yeah, it's been, so that was back in 2021, the show, and then over the course of the next 3 years, my mental health deteriorated pretty seriously. And so that was April of this year that I was in the hospital. So bit of time in between. And I'm so sorry, did you have a question about it? Or
I just wanted to know, I know, but let's tell our followers, our audience, about this experience, because I think it's very important to talk about. I think a lot of people are struggling like you were.
Yeah,
And the more we talk about it, I think the more we can heal.
I think so too. Thank you. I had worried that I'd cut you off before you'd able to get to your question. But yeah, so this year, I ended up finding myself in the hospital. Never thought I would be in there for the reason that I was, and honestly, it had gotten to a point where it felt like life was just so complicated and messy and painful, and consistently so over so much time, that I had fallen into a very deep depression that had turned into suicidality, suicidal ideation, that I kept quiet and hoping that just not feeding into the thoughts was going to help. And I learned pretty quickly that it was in the silence that it grows. And so in April, I had gotten to a point where I realized I was a danger to myself, and was able to have, thankfully, enough of my faculties to ask for help. And I had a friend take me to the hospital, and I was thinking I was just going to go into what is called the Access Center, which is an incredible resource for the community, for anyone that is in emergency situation with their mental health. It's a place that you can go and receive a safe space and professional help to be able to get through whatever's going on in that crisis. I think they also call it like the crisis center. I thought I was just going in there where I could kind of pop in and then pop out. I just wanted to see if I could ride through that wave. And while I was waiting in the ER, it was about 1:30 in the morning. So it was something that I had to wait in there for a while. But after waiting in the ER for a little bit, I was informed that I would be staying for a week at least. And it was terrifying. And I guess humbling is a good word for it. But finally just kind of having to accept that I'm not able to leave. I don't get to choose to leave. And they held me there for a week, and what felt like I was going into a prison initially, the behavioral medical unit, eventually turned into the most beautiful and healing place I'd ever been in. And so for the first 3 days, I had mostly just slept. I was really discouraged and quiet, and still just so exhausted from the anguish I had been in. And after a few days, I had felt this, like I didn't want to go to any of the classes they offered. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just wanted to play music. I wanted my guitar, and they didn't have anything for me to use. And I've only ever written one song on the piano, which is one that I'll play today on the guitar now. I've been able to transpose it or translate it. And it was a song that I had written back in 2021. So it's interesting. A lot of really good things happened in 2021 that, reverberated out into the future. But I didn't want to play it because I wrote it for a friend who had been struggling with their own suicidality, and at that time I had never experienced it. So I wrote it from this place of, hey, hold on, the pain's just temporary. And it felt disingenuous or hypocritical to think about playing that song again. So I just would play the music. I wasn't singing the lyrics. I didn't feel like it was mine to sing anymore. And over the course of a few days, people would come in and listen to me play. And it's a simple chord progression, so I don't know why they were interested in listening. But just, I had a few people say, "What are you playing?" I said, "Oh, this is a song that I've written." They said, "Oh, that's awesome. Did you write words to it?" I was like, "Yeah, but I don't want to sing it." And they kept pestering me, these other patients that were all in there for the same reason. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, because I didn't want to trigger anyone. And eventually I sang through it. And after I finished and I turned around, there was an older woman that was in there with me. And I can't remember her name. I just call her Janice in my head. But she had tears in her eyes. And I had explained to them before, I'm like, okay, I'll play this for you, but I'm not going to play it again. This song's going to die here. You know, I'm never going to put this one out. And she looked me square in the eyes and she said, "Don't you dare keep this song from me. This is my song, not yours." And it clicked for me as to what I'm doing, why I love the music, and why I need it, helping me to sort through my own issues and to hopefully provide some sort of comfort or connection with anyone else that is going through so much. And so over the course of the next few days, Janice was like the best promoter I've ever had. And she was pulling in all of the other patients. So every night the room would just, fill up more and more. And on my final night, it was absolutely packed in with some of the doctors and other mental health professionals and nurses. And I just couldn't understand it. And all they wanted to hear was this song. And it's been such an evolution of that song. It was the first song that I put out under my own name. And I'm so proud of it, and I'm excited to eventually get to the point where I can take it to a producer or a studio that can really capture the vision that I have, because it's okay for now, but it was like my number one goal after leaving the hospital was to A, keep going with the music, but B was to get that song released as fast as possible, because Janice kind of scared me a little bit. She's like, "You better get this out." So
that may be the best concert you'll ever do.
I think
that concert that you did there.
I don't think it'll ever be beaten.
They needed it. They said they didn't need it. They needed it, and it helped to heal them.
And it was organic, and it was beautiful, the conversations that came out of it. And I think that is really where where I feel like I come to life, is in conversation with people, getting to hear everyone's stories and getting to share mine. And I think just with our social media age that we're in, it just doesn't feel like real connected conversation happens very often. And I find that as long as there's music being played on my end, the people that come to me and are drawn to it are ready for a conversation, and I love it. So.
And you have an opportunity right now to do a lot of that with the work that you're doing.
Yes.
Thank you for talking about that.
You're welcome.
We appreciate that. So this year, just quickly, I have so many things I want to talk with you about.
Absolutely.
But this year, 2024, what are the artists that have influenced you in all of the songwriting that's pouring out of you? All the songs.
Man, there's
You've
so
written
many.
34 songs this year.
Yes. So we're sitting at 34 for the year. I've kind of taken a break from writing as consistently to focus on the performing side, just with my new opportunity that I have. But the goal is to hit 50 for the end of the year and to double it next year, and just continue to try to double every year as long as it's helpful. I don't want to make that the entire goal. But I would say, of all the artists that have influenced me, and there are many.
How about if you list the top 4?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the top 4, and I love that they all have J names. It's funny. I would say Janice Ian, Joni Mitchell, James Taylor, and John Bellion. They're all, the first 3 are all kind of in a similar genre, and John Bellion's very contemporary. But every single one of them, they just wrote so many songs. They just never stopped.
Yeah.
And it was Joni, I would say, that had the biggest influence on my writing this year. Because it was back in April. So before going into the hospital, I had learned that Janice Ian used an open tuning.
Janice Ian or Joni Mitchell?
Thank you.
Yes.
This is the problem with the J names.
Yes,
Just
that
like with me and my brothers, like I will mix them up. But with Joni, Joni used an open tuning. And I had never utilized an open tuning on the guitar before, and I had been beating my head against a wall trying to find any sort of interest in learning theory around the guitar, and I'm just not interested in it. I feel like I'm gaining more interest now, but for the longest time, I couldn't feel anything when I was trying to play the guitar or write on the guitar. And so it was Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell that was in a certain open tuning, and I tuned the guitar to that. And my first song from this year, Sleep Talking, which is also out on Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere, that was the first song that came out of that. And it was the craziest experience for me. And then since then, I just have not been able to stop writing. And eventually I'll exhaust the tuning that I'm in, and I'm going to switch it and just kind of keep seeing where it takes me. But yeah, I would say Joni is the biggest one for me right now.
Thank you. I was sitting in the only 5-star hotel here in St. George, the Advenair, the other day, waiting for my husband and some friends to have lunch, one of my favorite restaurants, Wood-Ash Rae.
Same.
I was sitting there looking, I've seen you perform there, I was looking at this place that you perform, and I just thought, this is the best gig in town. Like, I don't think it gets any better.
Absolutely.
The ambiance, the people that are coming there.
Yeah.
So tell us how that came about, and then just how that's going for you.
Absolutely. It was such a random thing. It was Plaid Skeleton is a recording studio here in town, and they're amazing. Two of my really good friends, Jason and Austin, run and operate the whole thing. And I believe they're based out of Utah Arts Academy now as well, because Austin's the production teacher there. But they had been holding some open mic nights at Blues Cats. I think they're now holding it at the Utah Arts Academy on Mondays. But I had gone and played for a few of their first open mic nights, and they had gathered some footage for me. I had some, and just threw it up on my social media just because it was fun. I hadn't been performing very much because the writing was just my main focus. And then a friend of mine, Kyler, he's the one that is on the single with me. And Kyler Button reached out to me and said, hey, would you ever want to come play at Wood-Ash Rae after seeing this little clip of me playing on the open mic? I said, don't joke with me. Like, he's like, no, I'm dead serious. I'm the food and beverage manager at Wood-Ash Rae, and we're wanting to get this started. I feel like you'd be the perfect person for it. And he and I had met last fall on a different song called Secrets between he, myself, and another local artist called Downcast. And it was just kind of fun. It's just, you never know what connections you're gonna make through collaboration, and that's why I love it. But yeah, it's been the most, I would say it's been the absolute best place for me to play and sandbox and grow and develop, and is where I feel like they've given me the perfect space to create, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You told me that you found power, subtlety, nuance, and emotional connection. So how, and I think a lot of it is coming from this opportunity. How has it come to you through that?
Yeah, it's honestly, I think it's been in the sheer number of hours I've been able to put into it that I've been able to just have so much data from the end of each show to process through and put towards the next show. And so I play 5-hour sets on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And you know, when I first started, and they said, can you do 2 hours? And I was like, absolutely. And I absolutely couldn't. I was so scared. And I was able to push through, my fingers almost bleeding, and my voice just absolutely destroyed. And then the next week was able to play that 2 hours a little bit more comfortably. And just, I've never been great at consistent practice, but with how close the shows were together, I had to. And I would say that all of those elements that you just talked about, the power of subtlety, the emotional connection to all of it, has come from being able to, again, just have so much time of real-time feedback with the guests. And I'll play something and I can tell when nobody cares. Or it doesn't, not even that they don't care, it's just that it didn't hit them. Or you'll play something that you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if this one's even good. And then to just see people come over and sit down, like it's built confidence, it's built gratitude. And I think those things have fueled the ability for me to just try things out. It's been fun.
What a blessing after all that you went through in April and leading up to April.
Yeah, it's
I
a
just feel like
heaven-sent
this is
thing.
so healing for you, so wonderful.
Thank you.
And you meet people from all around the world that come
Yeah.
into the Advenair, which is really exciting for St. George.
Yes.
Including influencers with massive followers.
Yeah, it's
And a
been
massive
cool.
following. So have they given you any advice as far as the social media side of things?
Oh man, it's been my favorite advice that I've received from anyone, and I've seen where it actually works, and I'm hoping to be able to continue to be as consistent as I need to be. But I had, if I don't know if you know Tia Stokes, she's on TikTok and Instagram. She's a local influencer and had battled through cancer. And I had the chance to meet her. I had no idea who she was. It wasn't like she was trying to like be like, oh, I'm Tia Stokes. But it was afterwards, like seeing her page, I was like, whoa, I'm actually gonna really take what she said to heart. But she looked at my account, and after she had asked, she's like, so are you on social media after learning that I do music? And I said, yeah, I'm trying to do it. You know, it's just kind of here and there that I post. And she looked at it and she said, okay, you've got some good stuff. Just post 2 times a day. And if you don't have a healthy following within a year, then you can maybe give it up if you want to, but you're not gonna want to. And I said, really, that's it? Like, you don't have any like strategies or anything else? She said, nope, just post 2 times a day and make sure that you're enjoying it. And it's been fun to see things perform well, things not perform as well, but it's just all this, it's fun now, as opposed to feeling like I have to be so bogged down in detail.
Oh, that's
But yeah.
true. Different perspective.
Yeah.
Because
and
it's a lot of work to do that posting, but if you can look
Yes.
at it as a fun, exciting thing, then you
Yes.
have some direction for that.
Yeah, and some urgency too, to be like, hey, if I need to do 2 a day, I can't just be so particular and perfectionistic about this one post. I'm gonna maybe spend a little bit less time on trying to make it perfect and just make sure that it's good enough. And that's been helpful for me, because I've always been a little bit more of a perfectionist. I want things to be exactly how I want them. And I think it's funny, some of the best performing things I've done have been just very little effort. And it's, I think the enjoyment side of it is so important, because if you're not enjoying it, it's not sustainable.
That's true.
And if it's not sustainable, you're not gonna,
Yeah.
well, I guess it's just
You're not gonna
built
wanna
into
keep
that
doing it.
explanation. Yeah.
What is your most important achievement to this point, or achievements?
Yeah. I would say absolutely my 3 sons, and the relationship that I have with them through everything that has gone on in this last couple of years. They are the most important thing in my life. And I think the fact that for some reason the music didn't die for me, that it's been able to stay, and that I've been able to keep trying after so many failed attempts. And I still have no idea where it's going, but I think that's my biggest achievement, that I'm still going. So,
Never given up.
yeah.
So tonight, I'm so excited that we're celebrating season 3 with you. I had
So
to have
cool.
you for the start of season 3.
Thank you for that.
Also, we're celebrating the fact that a song just dropped today,
Yep.
your newest original,
Yep.
and we'll hear that tonight.
I'm so
Tell
excited
us-
for you to hear it.
I've
It's fun.
heard it, and I can't wait to hear it today on the stage.
Great.
How can we follow you and keep up with your journey?
Absolutely.
And also Kyler.
Yes, and I was going to say, so the song is titled Inside My Mind. It's one that Kyler and I both wrote, and he produced. He's an incredible producer. I'll start with him.
Okay.
Kyler has, his Instagram handle is Kyler_Button, which I think is the coolest name.
It is.
And then on his account, you'll see Kyler 13 Studios. I believe that's the tag, but that's his studio account. And then for me, you can follow me on at Jake Parkinson Music on any of the social media platforms. I'm working on transitioning my like streaming services from Jacob back to Jake. But yeah, so for social media, Jake Parkinson Music, and then Jacob Parkinson on social media, or on the streaming platforms for
Okay,
now.
and we'll put those up.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, what will you be singing tonight?
Yeah, so we are gonna start with, oh my goodness, I'm blanking. I don't know if
Let's let it be a surprise, but you're definitely singing the song that came out today.
Yep, so I'm definitely singing Inside My Mind. I have one cover. I prefer not to play covers, but this one has been so important for me vocally, and I was excited to have that just because, again, with you and I, the voice has been something that has been a big journey for me, and this was one that I tried out recently, and it's just been so fun.
Okay.
But then the rest will be originals.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I'm so grateful you've been here, and so grateful you're still here with us.
Thank you.
I'm so thankful that you talked with us about your experience. I think that'll be helpful.
Me too.
You know I
Thank you.
support you. I'm proud of you. I love you. We've been friends for a long time. Are you ready to get started on singing?
Let's do it.
Let's get to your music.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
We will be right back after this with Jake Parkinson on the stage.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Welcome back, guys. My name's Jake Parkinson. I'm a local singer-songwriter, and this first song I'll be playing is the single that just dropped on all of the streaming platforms today with my good friend Kyler Button, and we will have the acoustic version, which is very similar to this that I'll be showing today next week for you. This is Inside My Mind. You've got me smiling like I'm such a fool, and I cannot control it. You're pacing back and forth inside of my mind. Oh girl, what'd you do? Got me feeling a certain kind of way. It's wild how tonight has me stuck on the thought of you. You and I, inside my mind, got me feeling brand new and perfectly see-through, girl. You and I, between these lines, me reading into you. I guess for tonight, you and I, inside my mind. Oh, what a time. Too many fears over many years, it's a steady climb. I want nothing at all, just to feel right. There's something about your glow, baby, I've gotta know. Are we right to even try? I feel like I've known you forever. Please let me show you something better. You and I, in tandem stride, run where we want to. I hope for tonight that you and I aren't just inside my mind. Inside my mind. This next song is it's one of my favorite covers. I try not to play too many when I'm showcasing my original material, but this one has been very important for me vocally. It unlocked something in me I didn't know I had. I had a few weeks ago at Wood Ash Rye, somebody had requested this song, and I was like, sure, I'll try it out. And that's one of my shticks, is like I'll try and play covers of songs that I've never actually played on the guitar before, but that I know well enough to sing, because I can kind of just mess around on the guitar, but as long as the vocal delivery is okay, we'll try it out. And this one was just such a surprise. So this is Hold Back the River, originally by James Bay. Definitely check out his music if you haven't. Try to keep you close to me, but life somehow got in between. Try to square not being there, but feeling like I should have been. Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, hold back. Once upon a different life, we rode our bikes into the sky. But now we call against the tide. Those distant days always flashing by. Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, hold back. Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and see where you hide. Hold back the river, hold back. Lonely water, won't you let us wander? Let us hold each other. Lonely water, won't you let us wander? Let us hold each other. Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, oh. Hold back the river, let me look in your eyes. Hold back the river so I can stop for a minute and be by your side. Hold back the river, hold back. That one is just so much fun. I love that. It reminds me a lot of the one that Shannon and I used to work on for me. Shawn Mendes's There's Nothing Holding Me Back. That song gave me so much grief. Dang Shawn Mendes. But this next song is the song that I spoke of in the interview. This is Temporary. It's a very special one to me. And it's evolved over time, and I swear has changed every time I've played it for the last long while. Up until recently, I feel like I've finally figured out what this song needs to be. This is temporary. You're overwhelmed and feeling low. Losing your grip on sanity. It pulls you down with nowhere to go. Caught in a black hole's gravity. I hope you know I go there too sometimes. And yeah, I know how hope is hard to find. And when it's coldest right before the dawn, do your best to carry on. Make it through one more night. Through it all, it's so hard to know. Pain is just like desert snow. It's cold, but temporary. It's temporary. You're overwhelmed and getting colder. You're sinking deeper in your mind. Oh, the pressure builds. You're going under. Trying hard to fight the tides. And when no one sees the way you're fighting to survive, hold on and give yourself a reason why. A reason why. When it's coldest right before the dawn, do your best to carry on, to make it through one more night. And if you want, I'll help you know your pain is just desert snow. It's cold, but temporary. It's temporary, temporary, temporary. It's hard to find a new reason, but until you do, you should know you're one of mine. Thank you, guys. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back, guys. Again, my name is Jake Parkinson, local singer-songwriter here in St. George, and I'm going to be playing a few more songs for you, a couple to be specific. I'm going to start with Echo and end with Make Believe. Hope you enjoy.
I'm feeling kinda shy, standing here close by your side, 'cause I am not sure if I can hide what I have found locked up inside my mind. I'm just so drawn in by those big brown eyes. What's hidden might just unhide if I see you tonight. But wouldn't that be nice? And I'm not quite sure why you're even on my mind. I don't even know what you like in a guy, but I think you ought to know they'll never see you down to your soul. You'll echo in every line I write, and I'm so caught up in those big brown eyes. What's hidden might just unhide. I wanna see you tonight. I think that it'd be nice. Tonight, I said what's on my mind, and then you gave a quiet smile, so beautifully tactile. In the moment I knew you thought, wouldn't that be nice?
Thank you, guys. This next song is probably my favorite to perform, and has been the one that, whether I'm performing at Wood Ash Rye or a local open mic, or one of my favorite spots is Ancestor Square on weekends. I typically am out there playing till very unholy hours of the night, but this is the one that I feel like has resonated most with myself and anyone else that I've been so fortunate to have as an audience. And this is Make Believe.
swim tuning, I just want to say this has always been something for me that has been difficult, is like taking the time to make sure that you as an artist, as the performer, is absolutely in the place that you need to be able to perform your best. Don't take too long like me, but to be able to make sure that you are ready and comfortable is so important. And the audience will thank you, I think. Oh, and you'll just feel so much better when it's right. Here is Make Believe. You're good at make-believe. Everything you are is hidden underneath a cold and thin veneer that you crafted carefully, designed so they would never see reality. Wanna be in your world of make-believe. It was never meant for me, so please leave me be. Gotta keep you out of reach, just so you don't play your make-believe on me. Yeah, you're good at make-believe. Had me thinking there was something wrong with me. All those years, now I'll expose everything you did to me. How could I never see reality? Oh, and I don't wanna be in your world of make-believe. It was never meant for me, so please leave me be. Gotta keep you out of reach, just so you don't play your make-believe on me. Look at what you did to 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 me. And now you're dead to me. Now you're dead to me. Ooh, 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 and I don't wanna be in your world of make-believe. It was never meant for me, so please leave me be. Gotta keep thank you guys so much for having me. It has been an absolute pleasure.
With the start of this new season, we are so grateful for this opportunity to bring the Artist Showcase to you. We couldn't do it without the support of Utah Tech University and our team here at CEC TV, our sound engineer, principal at Utah Arts Academy, Drew Williams, photographer Alan Holben, our social media specialist Nate Snow, and all of you. And a special thanks to my friend and artist, Jake Parkinson. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, follow, and like us on social media. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Artist Showcase.